Welcome back, everybody. Episode 82 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And I'm just so grateful to be here today. The conversation I want to have with you today is about life and about letting go. And two potent things that showed up in my field in this awareness over the last 24 hours that I desire to share with you, for you to feel into. Some of you guys are at pivotal parts of your world right now, in transitions, in moving through energy, in honoring, your truth and your power. And sometimes it's harder to swallow, right? And sometimes it's a little bit more challenging for us. And sometimes it may be difficult. I know. But I want to gift you with this experience today to talk to you about some of the dynamics of my life that are moving through me. And as you can hear, the puppies are actively involved in this podcast again, because why would they sleep when I'm about to record a podcast? Because they were sleeping 5 minutes ago. But obviously that's not happening now. So we're going to have to make do with puppy noises, because that's my life. And I'm showing up here real and raw, not in a studio without puppies. So this is the deal. So without further ado, a solo episode by me. Very short, very quick to the point. Episode 82 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. Enjoy. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back. And I am excited to share with you guys today, just based on some learning that I'm moving through today, literally to be able to record this for you guys in real time. And I want to talk with you guys about the energy of living and the energy of letting go, and how both of them are intertwined. And when we don't do something like let go, then we're actually hindering our living. And when we are living, we are in a space of being able to move and let go a little bit quicker. And of course, the second I go to hit record and I start talking to you guys to be able to get this done so I can go to the gym and actually then be all sweaty disaster, the dogs start to wrestle, because that would just make sense in my life, especially with the dynamics I've been moving through. This is my world, and it's really interesting, my availability these days to surrender and trust. Now, I watched earlier today because they weren't listening and they kept barking and barking and barking and barking for no reason, really. While I was on a call, it was super annoying, and I felt myself pick up in the moment, but then I went, who's the alpha and what needs to happen inside of this space for them to understand? Because when we're in this movement of life, and especially with this experience of me teaching and training 10-week-old puppies, they'll be 11 weeks this week. They don't know until we teach them, right? So if we think about ourselves almost as these little puppies in life, our spiritual awakening is a similar adventure. We don't know until we know and we learn. And as we move through this experience and as we start to evolve, we then learn things and then are able to implement the learning, right? And it's this beautiful web and weaving of energies as it moves through. But it's also one of those catch-22s. It's well, you can't know until you learn. And someone may tell you and you get the information in advance, but then you also dismiss it, or you don't step into it, or you don't believe it, or whatever it is. And then later on, you're oh my God, she was trying to tell me that. Or, oh my God, that's what they meant, right? So we go to the beach today, our first time at the beach together, me and the two pups. I take them by myself, and they're good. They're actually really good. Obviously, they were a wet, sandy disaster when we got back home, and trying to bathe them was a whole other experience. But I got to watch them. Live life. I got to watch them experience the ocean for the first time, get the waves to take them out a little bit, for them to play around in the sand. And it was really fun to watch Clark, because he's usually the more passive, but it was the ocean was calling him forward to run, to be. And we made it about a quarter of the way that I normally walk, and then we walked back, and they were good. But on the way home, they fell asleep in the car, because that was probably a lot of energy for them to move through. But I look forward to this experience together. And why I bring this up today to discuss this with you is about the living part. And I watched through the eyes of two puppies today how living life is so important, and how when we dismantle all of the things, the judgment, and, they were scared, but then they stepped in anyways again, and they kept experiencing, and they kept stepping in, and they kept stepping in to try it. And then, they were discovering inside of the space. They were getting curious. They were finding what worked for them. And I got to watch this through the eyes of them in this beautiful experience today on the ocean. And granted, yeah, I have the privilege, quote unquote, of going to the beach and of being in that connection. But every single one of us has the opportunity and choice every single day to live, every single day. And if you are in positions where you are not living, you are making a choice to stay in that space as well. And that's sometimes the hardest part for us to comprehend or to lean into, is that dynamic of that energy, of the fact that we are choosing every day to not live our lives. We are choosing every day the shit relationship, or, that career path, or doing things like this, or staying in mediocrity, or, like literally every single choice that we make, we choose. So when I discuss with you living life and being in an experience and stepping into an experience and holding that experience sacred, we see things differently. And when we start to move through this living life and move through this energy of movement in our world and really, really discover life around us, whether that's in adventures and traveling, whether that's in our communities, whether that's in the books we read, how we show up in our relationships, how we actually do life, it all plays a role inside of the space of. So when we do this, it makes it so much easier to let go. So much easier to let go. The truck is there next door, and that's why Lily is barking. Well, it's okay, baby. It's just a neighbor. That's why they're barking, which is an amazing thing that they're barking now at people and trucks and energies coming by. But not an amazing thing when I'm on a call. But I guess it will be later on. Anyways, I digress. So when we truly live in life, it gets a lot easier for us to let go, and let go of the things that no longer serve us, let go of the habits that no longer serve us, let go of the relationships in our world. I was on a call literally with a client today who's about to leave her boyfriend, and she's already communicated that she's leaving, but there's still parts of her that are connected in. And she's trying to figure it out and step into the space, but she is diminishing her power in this situation. And she isn't living the life that she desires to live. She is in parts of it, but in some aspects of her world, she's been diminishing her light for so long that she doesn't even realize she does it. And this is the thing I'm seeing in the world, including in my own self, as I've moved through experiences, especially over the last year, in these dynamic experiences that I've been able to move through and be within and hold space for. It's been a challenge sometimes. It's been a huge challenge. It's challenged my own ability to even trust myself some days, because I knew when I made decisions that this would happen. I knew when I stepped into spaces that would happen, or I had a feeling that something would be off, but I pushed into the energy anyways. And that's a disconnect. But when I bring you back into the energy of letting go, when we live our life and we step into the space of our life and we truly hold this curiosity, this experience, this adventure, this energy, then we have the ability to let go, where we see where there's a disconnect. We see inside of our life where we're literally living in mediocrity. We see the dynamics of the shifts in our world and the energies in our world, and we cannot stay in that energetic form any longer because it doesn't connect with ours anymore. But until we start to live our life, sorry, they're like wrestling, until we start to live our life, and until we start to really hold it true and sacred inside of our heart and move through experiences and allow ourselves to be in life, it's going to be harder to let go. We think, oh, we don't need to do that right now. We can just stay in that. It's not like it's doing anything for our lives, right? It's not like they're doing anything to my life. But every single part of our life that isn't vibrationally aligned, that we're holding on to for whatever reason, we're holding on to it, is not serving us at all. It's creating a distortion in the field, telling the universe that it's okay, you have a mediocre life because you haven't made an actual choice to step in because you're still choosing to be there. Careers, businesses, relationships, your health, in all the ways. I have to go to the gym when I'm done recording this. And I have to. Why I say that is because I've committed to going to the gym every single day in Q1. Every single day. Well, the gym's closed on Sundays, but I do yoga on the Sundays, and that's a workout, and that qualifies inside of the space. I'm not doing 75 hard. This isn't like an actual mechanism I'm following. This is a commitment to myself. So I made this decision. But in the life that I desire to live, I desire to have a strong body. I desire to eat healthy. I desire to, eat certain quality foods. I desire to have certain movement in my body. I desire to have it flow in a certain way. And because I desire that in the life, then letting go of the things that no longer serve that mechanism is easier. Letting go of this stuff, letting go of that stuff, like the carbohydrate thing. Like I still eat rice, white rice, but the pastas and the breads, when I was living with a girlfriend for the last little while, they're Italian. And I love them to pieces. And she makes fresh pasta. So I kind of went off of that a little bit, but I was like, damn, I got to get back into this alignment because it doesn't serve my body. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. I gain weight really easily. It's just a thing, right? And I make the choice to live a certain life. Therefore, letting go of the other choices that are no longer aligned are easier. And when we actually step in and when we actually feel this and when we embody it and when we move through it and when we're all in it, this is what happens. So letting go of the relationships gets easier. Letting go of the clients gets easier. Not doing business a certain way gets easier. Trusting ourselves gets easier. It just does. So as I ran the beach today with the pups, got them back home, bathed them in the sink, which is crazy. They're covered in sand. It was a beautiful time for me to reflect. I made a reel about it today on Instagram because I'm in this challenge right now, 30-day challenge. One day I have to post who I am. The other day I have to post what my business does or what I do in business. And I stepped in today to do a reel on the kiddos, on the puppies, because they showed me so much about who I am today on the beach. I love to experience life. I love to adventure. I love to try new things. I do. I really do. Sometimes when my hand is forced to try new things or to adventure because of some challenges, I rebel against that because someone else is telling me to do it. But I'm working with my ego. But I just wanted to pop in real quick to this message to you today. It's a quick message. It's a potent one. And right now, our bodies are purging energy. We're upgrading. Those of you guys have been doing the work, and those of you guys that have been stepping in the work are purging. And maybe the physical form is purging, meaning in all ways, whether it's weight, whether it's releasing toxicities out of the body, whether it's in sleep and needing more sleep. It's something that's happening. And we're purging in life. If you're being called to clean out your closets, if you're being called to shift stuff in your world, if you're being called to release friends, this is a thing, a real thing happening right now. And all I want to say to you is find the raft, get on the river, start to follow the flow, and start to lean in. Because every day can be a magical, attuned day. It doesn't mean we won't have struggles, and it doesn't mean that we won't be going through our shit still, but it's just way different. When you're in alignment, it's way different. When you're stepping in, it's just way different. So that's my message for you today, along with the puppies. I hope you guys are beautiful and amazing, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode.